Something made me change my mind as I looked at the picture for a second time. I decided to stay. The man told me his name was Henry. That night, Henry and I talked about many different things, but mainly about her. The next day passed quietly. Thursday evening, we had a visitor. He was a big red hair miner named Tom. I just came for a few minutes to ask when she is coming home, he explained. Is there any news? Oh yes, the man replied. I got the letter. Would you like to hear it? He took a yellow letter out of his shirt pockets and read it to us. It was full of loving messages to him and other people, their close friends and neighbors. When the man finished reading it, he looked at his hand. Oh, no, you are doing it again, Tom. You always cry when I read a letter from her. I'm going to tell her this time. No, you must not do that, Henry, the red-haired miner said. I am getting old, and any little sorrow makes me cry. I really was hoping she would be here tonight. The next day, Friday, another old miner came to visit. He asked to hear the letters. The message in it made him cry too. We all miss her so much, he said. Saturday finally came. I found I was looking at my watch very often. Henry noticed this. You don't think something has happened to her, do you? He asked me. I smiled and said that I was sure she was fine, just fine. But he did not seem satisfied. I was glad to see his two friends, Tom and Joe, coming down the road as the sun began to set. The old miners were carrying guitars. They also brought flowers and a bottle of whiskey. They put the flowers in vases and began to play some fast and lively songs on their guitars. Henry's friends kept giving him glasses of whiskey, which they made him drink. When I reached for one of the two glasses left on the table, Tom stopped my arm. Drop that glass and take the other one, he whispered. He gave the remaining glass of whiskey to Henry, just as the clock began to strike midnight. Henry emptied the glass. His face grew whiter and whiter. Boys, he said, I am feeling sick. I want to lie down. Henry was asleep almost before the words were out of his mouth. In a moment, his two friends had picked him up and carried him into the bedroom. They closed the door and came back. They seemed to be getting ready to leave, so I said, Please, don't go, gentlemen. She will not know me. I am a stranger to her. They looked at each other. His wife has been there for 19 years, Tom said. Dad? I whispered. There are worse, he said. She went to see her parents about 6 months after she got married. On her way back, on a Saturday evening, in June, when she was almost here, the Indians captured her. No one ever saw her again. Henry lost his mind. He thinks she's still alive. When June comes, he thinks she has gone on her trip to see her parents. Then he begins to wait for her to come back. He gets out that old letter, and we come around to visit. So he can read it to us. On the Saturday night, she's supposed to come home. We come here to be with him. We put a sleeping drug in his drink so he will sleep through the night. Then he's all right for another year. Joe picked up his hat and his guitar. We have done this every June for 19 years, he said. The first year, there were 27 of us. Now, just 2 of us are left. He opened the door of the pretty little house, and the 2 old men disappeared into the darkness of the Stanislaus. You have just heard the story, The Californian's Tale. It was written by Mark Twain and adapted for special English by Donna DeSantis. Thanh Luong.